Now we've created users and we've set passwords. We need to think about how we are going to protect our users by enforcing password policy. The first thing that I want to look at is a file called login.defs. This is the default settings for login. So there are a number of settings in here. The ones we are really interested in looking at, though, are the ones related to passwords. So I'm just going to look for pass here. And here you can see we can set the maximum days that a password can be used, the minimum days that a password has to be used before we allow a password to be changed, and then the warning. These are all set on a per user basis based on these defaults in the shadow file, where we looked at these settings that were on each individual line for the particular user. All of those settings are taken from this login.defs file, which are the defaults for login. So now I want to take a look at how we can make sure that the passwords that our users are using have some complexity to them. So we're going to go into pam.d. PAM is pluggable authentication modules. It is how Linux systems do authentication. The PAM modules determine how users are going to log into the system. So we are in the PAM directory where all the configuration files are. I want to look at the common password file here. I'm going to scroll down. Now, each of these lines that say password are a number of modules that are going to be called here. First of all, we're going to say password, and then basically, if there's success, then we're going to allow it. This is using the Unix login here, and it's using SHA-512 as the hash value here. Now, I'm going to add another line, and here we're going to say that this library module is required. That's the requisite line. So the first password that the user logs in, which is try first pass, we're going to allow 3 retries. And here is where we are going to specify the password complexity. The D credit is actually the number of numeric values in a password. So we're requiring 2 numbers, 2 lowercase letters, and finally 2 symbols. Now, of course, you can change all of these to be whatever you would like them to be, but this line is the type of line you would put into either your common password or your system auth file, depending on which one you had. On this particular system, there's no system auth file, so I'm putting this particular line into my common password file. So I can set my password complexity policy here in this file, and we're going to use the cracklib module that will be installed as part of PAM in order to check the password complexity requirements before you can actually set a password.